We have connection?
We can hear you, Director Capps.
Well, we just can't hear down here, I guess. Sorry about that.
Can you hear us?
Now we can.
We are ready to go whenever you are.
Okay.
Sorry, sounds like they didn't hear it the first time.
What's it?
Sounds like they didn't hear it the first
Okay, I'll start again, I guess. Thank you. So I now, good afternoon. I'm calling to order the October 24th, 2024 special meeting of the Santa Barbara County Air Pollution Control District Board of Directors. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chair Capps, we lost two board members here.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to go. Director Williams? Director Hartman?
Here.
Director Nelson?
Here.
Director Lavanino? Director King?
Here.
Director Clark? Director Perotti?
Here.
Thank you. Director Julian?
Here.
Director Aiello? Director Rouse? Director Patino?
Here.
Director Infanti?
Here.
And Chair Capps.
Here. Okay,
We have
at this
a
time, thank you. At this time, let's please stand and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item of business is approval of the minutes of the June 20th, 2024 meeting. I need a motion. Motion to approve.
So move, Julian.
Second, Hartman.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Director Hartman?
Aye.
Director Nelson?
Aye.
Director King?
Aye.
Director Perotti?
Aye.
Director Julian?
Aye.
Director Patino?
Aye.
Director Infanti?
Aye.
And Chair Capps.
Aye.
Motion
Okay,
passes unanimously.
Thanks. Next item is the approval of the administrative items. Does any board member wish to pull any of these items? None down here.
Staff would like to pull item D4 for an announcement.
Okay, does that require a separate vote?
No.
Okay. So can I please or is there any public comment?
There is no public comment on the administrative agenda or item D4. And so,
Okay, great.
reading item D4 into the record. Administrative item D4, Agreement of Employment for Air Pollution Control Officer. Approve and authorize the chair to execute an agreement for employment for Air Pollution Control Officer Aaron Arlen Janae to be effective at close of business on January 21st, 2025 to close of business on January 21st, 2027.
Good afternoon, Board. A short announcement on this one. Pursuant to Government Code Section 45953, requires that a legislative body orally report a summary of any recommendation for final action on the salary of a local agency executive. Item D4 recommends that the board execute an agreement of employment with Air Pollution Control Officer Aaron Arlen Janae to be effective on January 21st, 2025. This agreement sets out that the control officer's salary will be per month $20,649. Based on the existing agreement that's in place right now, before this new agreement takes effect, there is one additional opportunity for a merit increase of 1% to 3%. If a merit increase under the existing agreement is granted, an adjustment in salary would be announced at that time. And since there's no public comment, after this report, the item can be approved with the rest of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that, I think we need a motion and a second for the entire administrative agenda.
Hartman so moves.
Second.
Thanks to you both. Will the clerk please take a roll call?
Director Hartman?
Aye.
Director Nelson?
Aye.
Director King?
Aye.
Director Prody,
Aye.
Director Julian,
Aye.
Director Patino,
Aye.
Director Infanti,
Aye.
and Chair Capps.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thanks so much. And again, thanks for putting up with a split governance down here. Thank you so much. It seems pretty good. So now we move on to item E, Director's Report.
All right, good afternoon. I have just a few items I'd like to bring to the board's attention. The first one relates to an email blast we sent out earlier this week related to our landscape electrification program that provides incentives to organizations, government, schools. We're going to close that grant application on November 15th. We've had excellent participation in the event so far. We're getting very close to running out of available funds, and we want to put an end date for it. But I wanted to make sure all of you were aware of that date. So if you have your public works interested in expanding the amount of electric landscape equipment you're operating, please get your application in as soon as possible, but no later than November 15th. The second item, today, CARB, the board up in Sacramento, held a meeting on the farmer and the Carl Moyer programs, and they made some modifications to both of those grant programs to make it more effectively implemented across the state. My staff have been very involved in working with CAPCOA and CARB staff on these changes. Mike McKay, one of our lead grant staff, is up right now in Sacramento providing supporting comments and putting it into perspective what the farmer program in particular means to our district and working with the local agricultural communities. And also with the Carl Moyer guidelines, we were very successful in securing increase in administrative funds. Originally, the funds were at 12.5%, but today the CARB board made the change to increase it on 15% for administration cost. It has been, when we implement the program, it cost us more staff time than we're provided through this program. So we were able to increase that and continue our effective implementation of that program. So they approved both of the guidelines just a few minutes ago, so that's exciting, yeah. And then the last thing I just wanted to put a quick status update on is the McCoy building. Tina and I have been working and making decision after decision on all of the finishing touches for our McCoy building. Things are coming along very well. JG Contracting has been very good for us to work with, and we've also worked through the JOC process, so county staff has been assisting us as well. They're still on track for wrapping up this project by Thanksgiving. So we're getting very, very close. We plan on moving in by the 1st of this year if our furniture can make it. Furniture's made in North Carolina, and we've heard that the delay based on the hurricane might set us back. So we might even move in with bean bags. We're not quite sure. But if we have the building, we want to definitely take advantage of it. It's going to be a huge benefit for North County staff compared to where we're at now. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a clean air center for the public when we are impacted by wildfire smoke. And also it'll be very useful for our working space. So that concludes my director's report.
Thanks, Ms. Arlen Janae. Do we have any public comment on the director's report?
Chair Capps, we did not receive any public comment on the director's report.
Okay, now is the time on item F for the members of the public to speak on items that are not on the agenda. Do we have any requests?
Chair Capps, members of the board, we do have one request for public comment. Janet Blevins.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of you elected officials. I am ending my term on the Lompoc Unified School District School Board, so I know what it's like, sort of, to be an elected official. And I appreciate your time and efforts. I am very concerned about all of the SpaceX launches in Lompoc. I have no idea what kind of pollutants they are putting in the air and where those pollutants are going. In addition to that, I am very concerned because my house is cracking. I live in a stucco home. I have all double-paned new windows that are new, and all of the frames are cracking like that. And it's shocking and worrying, and especially, I mean, I'm okay with government launches from Vandenberg, but I am not okay with the billionaire fascists' launches, SpaceX launches from Vandenberg. When are we going to get paid back for the damage that's done? Who's going to take care of that? I also have a concern about the color of our skies in Lompoc on windy days because of our diatomaceous earth plant, and I can't remember the name of the company now. Imerys, thank you. There are certain days where the sky is much bluer all around us, but it's light and white in Lompoc. And I know that silica is not okay to breathe. And I know that several years ago, we tried to get a report from the county on asthma percentages in our community, and were turned down. That was never allowed. So those are a few things that I'd like you guys to consider. Thank you.
Chair Capps, this is
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman. I have something to add.
Go ahead, thank you.
My office has received a number of complaints about SpaceX launches. So we do have a number where one can file complaints or file claims for damages. I'm not sure exactly what's required in terms of proof, but we do have a number. So contact Gina Fisher in my office.
Excellent, thank you. Any more requests to speak, Clerk?
No additional public comments.
Okay, then we move on to the discussion items. Item G1, Clerk, please read that item into the record.
Discussion item G1, 2023 Annual Air Quality Report. Receive and file a presentation and 2023 Annual Air Quality Report for Santa Barbara County.
And today, we're going to have a presentation from Patrick Collins. He grew up here in Santa Maria. This is his first presentation to the board, by the way. He went to San Jose State and earned a degree in meteorology. And we are very fortunate because that degree and all the background is actually put directly into the work that he does for us at the district. He operates, I think, 3 different monitoring stations. We share the load amongst our air quality specialists on which stations that they are responsible for. And he's also very involved in daily forecasting of our air quality. And this is information that we put on our website as well as we use it in our social posts. So a lot of times when you see that we have different, moderate or good air quality, Patrick's the one that provides that information to our outreach team. So it's all yours. Have fun with it.
Chair Capps and members of the board, my name is Patrick Collins. I am an air quality specialist with the district, and today I have a presentation on the annual air quality report of 2023. Next slide, please. In 2023, Santa Barbara's monitoring network consisted of 13 stations. 9 were operated by the district, 4 were operated by private industry, and we had 2 stations measuring odorous air pollution from industrial facilities. The stations fall into 2 categories. You have state local air monitoring stations, which is also known as SLAMs, and we also have industrial stations. SLAMs are designated to monitor air in urban areas, while industrial stations are required by district permits to monitor industrial operations impacts. Within the monitoring network, we have 9 ozone monitors, we have 5 nitrogen dioxide monitors, we have 5 sulfur dioxide monitors, 2 for carbon monoxide, we have 3 hydrocarbon monitors, and we also have 4 hydrogen sulfide monitors, with 5 monitors for particulate matter measuring 10 microns or less in diameter, and 6 monitors that measure particulate matter 2.5 microns or less. And we also have 11 meteorological locations. Next slide, please. In 2023, we installed a new PM 2.5 monitor in Carpinteria. It was funded by US EPA 103 American Rescue Plan Direct Award Grant, and it was installed to provide information on the normal patterns of PM 2.5 concentrations as well as the impacts of wildfire smokes. Next slide, please. Here we have a breakdown of what pollutants are measured at each station within the network and whether they are slams or industrial. You can take a note here that we have some stations that are designated as slams, but they do have industrial monitors at those stations as well. Next slide, please. Portable monitoring. The district has a cache of equipment for specific events that call for the deployment of portable air monitors. For example, wildfires, prescribed burns, accidental releases, or odor complaints. The district's portable monitors consist of two types of equipment. EBAMs, which stands for Environmental Beta Attenuation Monitors, and they monitor PM 2.5 and meteorological conditions. And we also have the air pointer, which measures PM 10 and PM 2.5 simultaneously. It also measures H2S, or hydrogen sulfide, ozone, BTEX, which stands for benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, and xylene. And it also measures meteorological conditions. In 2023, the district had 5 EBAM deployments, all for prescribed burns, and 1 air pointer deployment at Lookout Park in Summerlin in response to oil slicks and odor complaints. Next slide, please. Low-cost sensors. So the air pollution community has been exploring the use of low-cost air quality sensors for the past decade and have found the benefits and limitations of low-cost sensors. With low-cost sensors, monitoring is possible in many more locations. However, low-cost sensors vary widely in performance and reliability, and research has shown accuracy issues. But with research due to co-location, accuracy has greatly improved. Despite the limitations, low-cost sensors have successfully aided the district to assess wildfire smoke impacts. A benefit of low-cost sensors is the shorter sampling intervals, which allow the district to assess wildfire smoke concentrations in real time, in between the sampling intervals of permanent monitors, which are about 1 hour.
I'm curious, I don't see a key that tells me what the different color codes signify.
Sorry, yeah, so green is typically good air quality. When you get into the yellow, that's when you're about in the moderate range for air quality. And it goes into like a light orange for unhealthy for sensitive groups. And then a red for unhealthy. And then after that, it's like a maroon for hazardous.
Thank you.
Let's see, okay. The US EPA Fire and Smoke Map incorporates both low-cost air quality sensors and permanent monitors. The EPA provides a correction factor which helps improve the accuracy of low-cost sensor data provided. At the end of 2023, the district deployed 48 low-cost sensors throughout the county, monitoring PM 2.5. Our 2 primary low-cost sensors are purple air sensors and clarity sensors. If you can see here, that is an example of our purple air sensors. Next slide, please. 2023 exceedances. An exceedance is a measured concentration of pollution at a monitoring station that surpasses a federal or state standard. Most exceedances are wind-driven or due to wildfire smoke impacts. In 2023, the district had 12 PM10 exceedances from 3 stations, 1 at Lompoc, 1 at Santa Barbara, and 10 at the Santa Maria station. 9 out of 12 were due to high winds events, and the remaining 3 were due to wildfires in Northern California and Canada. And I'll make a note here that it says countywide total is 13. That's because there were 13 exceedances, but in terms of days, there's only 12 because 2 occurred on the same day between Lompoc and Santa Maria. Next slide, please. Here, this graph shows the trend of exceedance days for PM10 and PM 2.5 over the past 16 years. There was a slight increase between 2022 and 2023, but as you can see, there's a general decrease in the trend of PM exceedances over the years. Next slide, please. This graph represents the trend of ozone exceedances along with county population trends. There were 0 exceedances in 2023. Since the 1990s, Paradise Road Monitoring Station has had the most exceedances of the 8-hour ozone standard. Paradise Road is at an elevation of 1,000 feet, the highest monitoring station in Santa Barbara County, and this makes the station more susceptible to picking up regional transport pollution. The predominant transport couple in Santa Barbara County is from the southeast, which comes from Ventura, and South Coast Air Quality Management District, which is about the greater LA area. The Paradise Station is our design value for Santa Barbara County and we are currently designated as non-attainment transitional. This graph also demonstrates the combined strategy of stationary and mobile source reductions of ozone precursor pollutants in the form of both regulatory and voluntary means. It has achieved dramatic improvements in ozone levels in Santa Barbara County. Next slide, please. Air Quality Index. This slide shows the AQI trends for Santa Barbara County. In general, for 2023, good air quality. About 63% good for the year, and we had about 36% moderate for the year. An increase in moderate days is likely due to the Santa Maria Station. It was relocated in October of 2022, and now in 2023, we see 1 full year of operation, and we typically see our highest PM10 concentrations at the Santa Maria Station. The county had 0 unhealthy for sensitive group days and 0 unhealthy days and above. Next slide, please. The district is responsible for providing an AQI forecast to the public. This information is displayed on the district's website as well as social media posts. We take into consideration the forecasted weather conditions for the county as well as regional transport winds that could bring wildfire smoke to our communities. Next slide, please. 2023 summary. So in summary, we added a new PM 2.5 monitor in Carpinteria. We had an increase in moderate days from 2022. We had 0 exceedance days for ozone, and we had 12 PM10 exceedance days 12 PM10 exceedance days of the state standard. And next slide, please. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Again, my name is Patrick Collins, and I'm open to any questions.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Do we have any discussion from the board?
I've got a couple
Let's start,
questions, Chair Caps.
Director Nelson.
Yes, thank you, Chair Caps. You said the Santa Maria location moved. Where did it move from to where?
So from my understanding, the location before it was downtown, and then we did have a temporary monitor at our McCoy station, but since then it's moved to Lakeview Junior High.
Before it was operated by, excuse me, California Air Resources Board. And it was actually in a location that wasn't an approved, federally approved site. Is it Broadway? It was in the corner of Broadway near the high school, and it was too close to Broadway. So the amount of traffic on Broadway, it didn't qualify as an official station. So when CARB said we're done measuring air quality in Santa Maria, we're like, wait a second, that's our largest population. We need to continue. So we, the Air District, picked up the station and found another location. So we decided to move it to Lakeview Middle School.
So when we choose locations like Lakeview, because Lakeview is basically at the end of a runway, as well as, it's kind of the corridor of where the wind comes through our valley. And so, is there you guys looking at that, on purpose, or is it, you guys want to?
We were looking at a number of locations. It needs to be based in a community where people live and play.
Sure.
And we thought schools are a great location for that. We were concerned about the proximity to agricultural field as well as the airport. And we set up some temporary monitors just to see. With those results and with all the other locations we were trying to secure, that was the best location that we could find.
Okay. And then talking about the Paradise Station, that is where we typically have issues. I mean, we don't have a lot of population there, right? So does it make sense that that is an ongoing station? Because it's what keeps tripping us up. Does it make, as we just talked about with the Santa Maria Station, we want to have it in a community. I know there's some people that live out that way, but not very many. And it seems that that's the number that's dragging our entire county down. Has there been any consideration on maybe just relocating that station, not to falsely advertise some kind of new, better air quality, but it seems like that's an outlier. Really not the.
Yeah, I can take
circumstances.
that one. So ozone is a regional pollutant.
Sure.
So we don't typically see high ozone concentrations, right where the precursor pollutants are emitted. So having that station, kind of downwind from urbanized areas, it allows for the ozone precursors to get up in the atmosphere and mix and create ozone. So it's not our only ozone station. We have 9 ozone monitors throughout the county. But as a regional pollutant, having those different locations outside of the urbanized areas does allow us to better be able to monitor ozone concentrations countywide.
I can add one thing. In addition to the history of that site, it is our design value. It's nearly impossible to move a site once it's your design value for the community, for the county. And it's design, meaning it is our highest level of ozone. So trying to convince EPA or CARB that we can move it has not been proved successful for other air districts.
Okay. Well, it just seems that it's an outlier. We have all the success in all these other locations. It's one that we're really picking up air pollution from LA and from ships, and really not our community that we actually have regulatory authority over. So it just seems to be dragging us down artificially. And I understand that might be our design piece, but I do think we have a good story to be told on why that maybe needs to be reevaluated as a whole, so that we can really look at the whole entire package. I know we're actually even having successes there, but when it comes outside of control what we can do here, because these other areas, that's frustrating, because I think there's been a lot of successes and you guys deserve a lot of credit. And so I don't know if there's anything in the future we can look at, but it's something that I would be interested in. The other issue with some of these monitoring stations is, I know you're looking at particular matter. There's the issue of toxicity that has been an issue in our community recently. Can you speak to that at all? Do these air monitorings pick up toxic substances and have samples of those? I mean, what does that look like as far as that's concerned? I know the Department of Pesticide Regulations does as well, and I don't see those on there, or maybe those are on there, but can you expand on that?
So at the Santa Maria station, actually, we did have a requirement for community air monitoring, which is actually more of what you're talking about, and it was because of the refinery. I forget the name of it, but
California asphalt plant.
So we did have some of that monitoring, and a lot of that other monitoring does happen at our industrial sites, where you do see some of those more toxic pollutants, but not necessarily at SLAM's stations.
And we do not measure for pesticides.
Okay.
That is outside of our purview.
Gotcha. All right. But the Department of Pesticide Regulations does.
They have one monitor in the Bonita School. It's
Right.
one of 5 in the state of California.
Right.
And that's, I think, the only one we have in our county.
Yep. And I understand the 2003 report just came out, and none of the samples throughout all of those 5 stations throughout the state came back with samples of toxicity, and 95% of the samples came back with absolutely no pesticides in them at all. So, I mean, there's a good report. Recently, the Department of Pesticide Regulation was in our community and was able to help educate those that were concerned about that. And it looks like we'll probably have a public meeting on that in the future, because it seems to be something that's a hot button issue, and it's important to get the facts out on that. I was kind of curious if there was an intersection with our mission at all.
Yeah.
But
in following up on that event that happened last Saturday, I did have conversations with DPR and with CARB as well. We were not notified of this event, and it was advertised of even covering air quality.
Right.
And I highlighted the need for any such event in our area and anywhere in the county, that we need to be engaged.
Sure.
We need to be at the table. We need to be part of the conversation. Supposedly, we're going to have a debrief meeting with both DPR and CARB, and I know the Farm Bureau is trying to get a public meeting so everyone could attend.
Yeah, I think we're all working in that effort. Yeah. I think the idea is that we want to have an open, transparent conversation about these issues, and there's some good stories to be told. Our Ag Commissioner's office does a really great job at reviewing these things. Under the leadership of our new Ag Commissioner, I think inspections on applications have tripled in our community. And we're doing a really good job there. And so I really want to make sure that we have that opportunity for the work that you guys are doing here at the Air Pollution Control District, as well as the work that's being done in the Ag Commissioner's office, that really can get out there. I think there's some out there in our community that just want to stir people up. And I think that, I'm really looking at solutions and how we solve problems together. So I'm looking forward to that public meeting in the future and look forward to your participation.
Thank you.
Yes, we have any other, let's just go up there first. Any other questions or comments from Santa Maria?
Not seeing any additional comments in Santa Maria.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have one down here with my colleague next to me, Director Perotti.
Just one real quick question on did we not have an air monitor at Elwood School, or was it Brandon School? And then I think Carpinteria borrowed it. Are there I might have it wrong. Are there plans of ever putting another air monitor on the western end of Goleta?
We did have the air pointer at the Brandon Elementary School. I don't believe in 2023. It was in 2022 when we were receiving complaints where we were able to deploy it at the local elementary school. We did dust it off just a few weeks ago in anticipation of a need this year, but we were very fortunate to date, knock on wood, we haven't received complaints from H2S smell in that community yet this year. But if so, our air pointer is ready to be deployed.
So do I have this correct that it's complaint driven in a way to have that monitor back in the western end?
Yeah, it's a portable monitor that is equipped with the instrumentation to measure H2S. H2S isn't measured at all of our stations, and this location where we have our Goleta monitoring station is not as close to the community that was impacted by the H2S smell as the elementary school was. So we thought deploying the air pointer directly to that community was the most efficient way to measure what was being experienced in that neighborhood. Okay.
And then also there was some discussion in the past about air quality in Old Town Goleta. Do we have an air monitor in Old Town or close to Old Town?
We do not have a permanent monitor, but do we have any purple air monitors in Old Town that you're aware of? If not, we would like to. I know we've actually contacted the city for is it the community building?
Yeah, the community center.
Yeah, we thought the community center would be an ideal location. Director Perotti, if that would be something that you would be interested in, we could get a purple air deployed there really easily.
Yes, I'd be interested. Yeah, for that area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? I don't think so. So we'll ask if there's any public comment on this item, on this report.
Chair Capps, we did not receive any public comment on this item.
Okay, well, thanks for the report. It's just a receive and file, so no vote is necessary. So we can move on to G2, please, clerk.
Discussion item G2, update on the Clean Air Ambassador Program. Receive and file presentation on the Clean Air Ambassador Program.
All right, today we're going to have a presentation from Sydney Rouse. She's an air quality specialist in the planning division. She's been at the district for almost 2 years now, but before that, it's a good story. She was hired in as an intern. So she was able to work as an intern into a permanent position. We're very fortunate to have her. In addition to the presentation that she's going to provide today, she also works with our Central Coast Clean Cities Coalition to promote the use of alternative fuel vehicles and infrastructure, and she oversees the implementation of our electric vehicle grant program. So thank you.
All right, can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you, Erin, for the introduction. Good afternoon, Chair Capps and members of the board. My name is Sydney Rouse, and I'm an air quality specialist in the planning division at the district. I'm excited to be here today to provide an update on the district's Clean Air Ambassadors program. Over the next few slides, I will introduce the Clean Air Ambassadors, provide an overview of the curriculum, and highlight the program's success. To kick things off, I will provide some context about the program's background. The district launched the Clean Air Ambassadors program in spring of 2019 to bring undergraduate college students from across the county to local classrooms to teach kindergarten through third grade students about air pollution. Although students from all universities and community colleges across the county are encouraged to apply to become a Clean Air Ambassador, the district has had the most success to date hiring UC Santa Barbara students. In the beginning phase of the program, the district recruited 4 undergraduate students, 3 from UC Santa Barbara and 1 from Santa Barbara City College, to develop and pilot 2 unique lesson plans. After receiving positive feedback from teachers and students, the ambassadors began conducting outreach and promoting the program through various channels. With the help of teachers' word-of-mouth referrals, the small team of 4 ambassadors made a huge impact by visiting a total of 24 classrooms from April 2019 until March 2020, when the program was unexpectedly paused due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In preparation to return to classrooms after the pandemic, the ambassadors revamped outreach efforts and connected with teachers to schedule visits for fall of 2021. The program quickly regained momentum, which encouraged the district to continue expanding the ambassador team. During the 2023 to 2024 school year, the district recruited a total of 9 new ambassadors, including 2 that are bilingual in English and Spanish. Over the years, we've learned the importance of succession planning by recruiting new undergraduate students before experienced ambassadors graduate. This strategy provides new hires with ample time to shadow existing ambassadors and gain confidence in classroom management before leading a lesson. This fall, we're excited to have a large team supporting the rollout of a new 3rd lesson, which I'll discuss in more detail later in my presentation. Next slide, please. Now I'd like to introduce our current team of Clean Air Ambassadors. All 9 of our ambassadors are undergraduate students at UC Santa Barbara and are pursuing majors in various fields of studies, including environmental studies, economics, psychological and brain sciences, and aquatic biology. Adriana, Olivia S., Sophia, and Melissa joined the team last spring and are excited to continue expanding their experience in the classroom. Marissa, Brooklyn, Sadie, and Lucy, who serves as our new lead Clean Air Ambassador, are entering their 2nd year, and Olivia B. is entering her 3rd year with the program. Next, I'll discuss the interactive curriculum our ambassadors teach. This program has always featured 2 engaging lessons for kindergarten to 3rd graders, and we have worked closely with our ambassador team to roll out a new 3rd lesson this fall. The lessons are 45 minutes, adaptable to each grade level, and align with next generation science standards. The first lesson features an interactive reading of Dr. Seuss's The Lorax to demonstrate how air pollution impacts human health and the environment. Props, questions, and fun activities are incorporated throughout the lesson to keep students engaged. In the second lesson, the ambassadors take students on a pretend magic school bus ride to learn how filters capture harmful air pollution. Students assist the ambassadors with an air filter demonstration and play a fun game to brainstorm ways they can help keep our air clean. During our new 3rd lesson, the ambassadors read a short story developed by the Environmental Protection Agency titled Why is Cocoa Orange? To teach students how they can protect themselves when experiencing unhealthy air quality. This lesson introduces the concepts of air sensors and important resources such as the Air Quality Index Scale and the US EPA's Fire and Smoke Map. At the end of the lesson, students are given an Air Quality Index magnet, which I'll highlight later in my presentation, as a token to remember what they learned from the Clean Air Ambassadors. Since the program was launched in the 2018 to 2019 school year, we've experienced significant growth in the number of schools and classrooms reached. When compared to the 2021 to 2022 school year, which was the program's first full year operating, the ambassadors increased the number of schools visited by 55% and number of classrooms visited by 37% in the 2023 to 2024 school year. As you can see on this slide, the number of schools visited during the last year was less than those visited in the 2022 to 2023 school year. The decrease in number of schools reached is a result of a decision to prioritize outreach to more schools outside of South County. As you can see on this map, the ambassadors had an extremely successful last school year, expanding the program's impact across the county. Out of the 14 schools reached, the ambassadors visited 2 in Santa Maria, 2 in Lompoc, 1 in Buellton, 1 in Gaviota, 2 in Goleta, and 6 in Santa Barbara. Due to the increased travel time to schools outside of South County, the ambassadors collaborate to schedule multiple classroom visits each day to maximize their time and effort, as well as the number of students reached at each school. Over the next 2 slides, I'll highlight a few recent successes of the Clean Air Ambassadors. With support from the district's bilingual team, we've recently developed several Spanish Clean Air Ambassador outreach items. As I mentioned earlier, students receive a refrigerator magnet with a kid-friendly version of the Air Quality Index scale after Lesson 3. These magnets are available in English and Spanish and include a QR code with a link to our Today's Air Quality webpage where air quality conditions can be found 24/7. In addition to the magnets, the ambassadors began distributing English and Spanish take-home flyers after each lesson in the last school year. The take-home flyers were developed in response to an idea shared in the teacher feedback form, which is sent to all teachers after the ambassador's final classroom visit. After each lesson, the ambassadors email the take-home flyers to teachers, who then circulate them to students' guardians. The goal of the flyers is to introduce the ambassadors, provide a summary of what students learned during each lesson, and encourage students to continue discussing the importance of clean air with their friends and family. Another recent highlight of the program has been the ambassadors' participation in school science nights. The partnerships developed with local teachers through this program has resulted in the district being invited to participate in science nights across the county. At science nights, the ambassadors and district interns collaborate to engage with students and their families about the importance of clean air through arts and crafts, a do-it-yourself air purifier demonstration, and providing resources on how to set up their own clean air room. As you may know, California Clean Air Day was earlier this month on October 2nd. The ambassadors supported 2 local bike, walk, and roll to school day events at Veja Valley Elementary School in Santa Barbara and Brandon Elementary School in Goleta. At the events, ambassadors distributed reflective snap bracelets and pens, as well as invited students to take the Clean Air Pledge and answer air quality trivia questions. Students were encouraged to wear reflective snap bracelets around their wrists or ankles when biking, walking, or rolling to increase their visibility and overall safety. The ambassadors are excited to continue supporting future Clean Air Day events across our region. The district is committed to building on the current success of the program by striving to achieve the goals outlined on this slide. Our main goal for the 2024 to 2025 school year is to increase the number of schools visited countywide and total students reached by 15% respectively. Furthermore, we're excited to continue developing more educational resources for Spanish-speaking students. To support the development of these resources, we will continue to hire bilingual undergraduate students in future ambassador recruitments. Lastly, we hope to build and sustain a North County Clean Air Ambassador team to further support the expansion of the program. Before we wrap up, I wanted to highlight a few testimonials we've received from teachers via the teacher feedback form. Every teacher visited by the ambassadors has expressed their desire to have them return the following year and frequently complimented their ability to keep the students engaged through effective classroom management and hands-on activities. We encourage all interested teachers to request a classroom visit by emailing the ambassadors at apcdambassadors@gmail.com or by completing the request form found on our website at www.our.org/clean-air-ambassadors-program. Next slide. All right, and as part of this presentation, we wanted to share some of the Clean Air Ambassador outreach items I discussed today with our board members. So please let us know if you have any feedback on the items in your goodie bag, and we also have items available for any members of the public in attendance. And with that marks the end of my presentation. Here's my contact information, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Rouse. That was a wonderful presentation. Are there any discussion or questions from Santa Maria?
I do. On the last bullet points, it's build the North County Clean Air Ambassador team. How are you going to go about doing that?
Yeah, so in the past, we have reached out to Allen Hancock Community College and tried to recruit students from there and just unsuccessfully haven't received any applications. We do have some really great contacts that we've made through our Clean Air Grants program that also help with the Allen Hancock College's sustainability committee that involves local undergraduate students. So we're hoping to continue connecting with them to help them spread the word about future employment opportunities for Allen Hancock College students, as well as other local college students. We've also done outreach to Cuesta College in SLO, even though it's pretty far. But if people are interested, we'd love to have representation up here in North County.
Okay.
And if any of you on the board know of anyone who might be interested in carrying out this function for us, please forward them to Sydney.
Okay,
That would be great.
do that. Thank you.
Yes, Director
Chair Capps,
Director
this
Harmon.
is Joan Hartman. May I ask a couple of questions
Yes,
too?
please. Great.
Well, first of all, congratulations. I think that the teachers uniformly saying that this was valuable really means a lot because they've got packed curricula and they've got a hard time meeting all their requirements. And so that this fits their curriculum and that it was so well executed, I think really speaks highly of your program. I just wondered for more teachers to know about it, if it might be worth your time to reach out to our county education office and Susan Salcido. She communicates to teachers in schools throughout the county, and so there may be some, if you're looking to get more teachers, that might be one way of going about it. And I just wondered about Cal Poly. A lot of I think it's harder it looks like you're building a pipeline. So you're starting with sophomore, junior, senior. That's a little harder at a community college. But a lot of Cal Poly students come from Santa Barbara. And so I think they have roots here. They have connections with schools. So I'm not sure who there, but we know the president. We could probably find the right person if you'd like.
That's a great idea. And I do think when I was at Earth Day once in Guadalupe, there was a Cal Poly class there that was increasing awareness on recycling protocol. And that's an example, I think, of how Cal Poly's come into our Santa Barbara County. So we can definitely follow up.
Yeah, I will add, we did also open the recruitment to Cal Poly students, but I definitely think we can have more of a direct relationship with a contact there that can help spread the word. And I appreciate your kind words about the program. And we do have a partnership where we have partnered with the Santa Barbara County Education Office. And I will mention that during our last school year, we received a lot of requests that we had a waiting list. So trying to reach all the members and all the teachers that we can. And I think that is shown in the, 9 ambassadors that we have on staff of our attempts to reach as many classrooms and teachers as we can.
It's really kind of a startup operation, and you're doing a great job. It's really exciting to hear about it.
Thanks, Director Hartman. Other comments?
No additional comments from Santa Maria.
Thank you. And any requests to speak from the public?
Chair Capps, we did not receive any requests to speak on this item.
Okay. Well, again, this is a receive
Thank
and
you so
file.
much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Rouse. I appreciate it. So no vote is necessary. And I believe that moves us to announcements that this will be rebroadcast on channel 20. And that's it. We can adjourn. Item I. So thanks everybody. Not too long of a meeting, 1:50 here, and appreciate the time. Thanks.
Thank you.